I always found him to be great, to be admired and certainly respected.
Mr. Chairman.
People across the country and here in Southeast Texas are remembering a legendary congressman who served the area for decades. Good evening, I'm Kelly Phillips.
And I'm Bill Leger. Thank you for joining us. He served more than 40 years in Congress and authored bills that impact the lives of Americans to this day. Former Congressman Jack Brooks died Tuesday night at Baptist Hospital in Beaumont, surrounded by his family. Relatives say he died peacefully following a sudden illness 2 weeks before his 90th birthday. He is survived by his wife, 3 children, 2 grandchildren, and a number of other relatives. Brooks was elected to Congress in 1952 and served until his defeat in 1994 when a number of Republicans swept into office. The Jack Brooks Federal Building and Jack Brooks Regional Airport are named in his honor. His accomplishments are etched in history. Brooks helped author the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, and he sponsored the Americans with Disabilities Act. TM reporter Leslie Rangel spoke with one of Brooks's former interns, Nick Lampson, who served as a congressman in the 9th District. Lampson says the nation has lost someone who embodied living history.
Ought to be interested in helping people, but you ought to be interested in helping everybody.
Helping people. Jack Brooks lived by those words, according to former Congressman Nick Lampson. He was an intern for Brooks at the Capitol, while Lampson was still going to school.
A man who really wanted to get to the bottom of an issue and fix that issue. That's impressive.
Lampson says that wasn't the only thing that was impressive about Congressman Brooks.
Everybody knows that picture with Lyndon Johnson standing with Judge Hughes taking the oath of office after the death of John Kennedy. A very famous picture. I think that he may be the last one to have been alive.
He remembers the first time they met.
Saw him on a sidewalk, blocked that sidewalk, stuck my hand out and said, "Mr. Brooks, I'm Nick Lampson." I didn't get anything else out of my mouth when he turned his face into this scowl and said, "Send me one more blankety blank letter of recommendation into your file and I'll throw your whole effing file in the garbage can," and pushed me off the sidewalk and went on. But later learned he did know my name and he put me into that position that I'd asked for.
Hired to work for a man he later followed in Congress.
Were you not assigned at one time to work on plans for the continuity of government in the event of a major disaster?
Always questioning government.
Things I remember about him are the efforts that he made to make government work better.
Lampson says one of the congressman's greatest accomplishments was authoring landmark civil rights legislation.
In my estimation, not any different than the decisions that Abraham Lincoln was making as far as this huge effort to free the slaves. Major thing for mankind, but willing to step up and do it.
Brooks remained humble, according to Lampson, despite more than 40 years of achievement in Congress.
Just someone who was lucky enough to have a job that gave me the ability to help a lot of people.
A man of the people. Lampson says that's a perfect way to describe him.
Not a real big man. Rarely did one see him without a cigar in his hand. Begun to show his age a little bit. Obviously, one of his trademarks was the fact that he had no hair on the top of his head. He wouldn't mind walking into a hardware store wearing coveralls, which he did sometimes here.
And after years of service, when he was defeated in 1994, Brooks could think of only a few things left to do.
And go fishing, work in the yard. Life will be pleasant. I look forward to it. I'll see you all around.
In Beaumont, Leslie Rangel, KFDM 6 News.
Brooks's funeral is scheduled for 2 in the afternoon Sunday at the Montaigne Center on the campus of Lamar University.
Brooks attended what later became Lamar University before enrolling at the University of Texas. He never forgot his roots and fought to provide funding for Lamar University. This is video we took at Lamar in April of 2008 when a scholarship was named in his honor. Brooks said then he understood the value of education and wanted to ensure every child had that opportunity. 2 months before the Lamar Scholarship honor, he joined former President Bill Clinton in Beaumont when Clinton was campaigning for his wife's presidential bid. Politicians from across the country are weighing in on his accomplishments tonight. To read much more about former Congressman Jack Brooks, his life and career, log on to our website at kfdm.com.